Hey, what's up? This is Sully from Godsmack. Strap on those boots, baby, because you are now in the trenches of the war room with the one and only Mistress Carrie right here on the Mistress Carrie podcast.
What's up? This is Joe Rogan, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Her hair so lovely, pretty eyes.
Hey, this is Brent from Shinedown, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie. Hey, Carrie, go put your bra on, girl.
Hey, this is Steven Tyler, and you be listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
What's up? This is Aaron from Stain, and you're listening to Mistress Carrie.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, and you're listening to the one, the only Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is David from the band Disturbed, and you're listening to the baddest bitch in Boston, Mistress Carrie.
Hi, Bruce Dickinson here from Iron Maiden. Yes, indeed, Miss Whiplash herself, Mistress Carrie, is here to unchain your brain.
Hi, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're listening to Mistress Carrie.
This is Dennis Leary. You are listening to my favorite, Mistress Carrie.
Hey, this is Corey from Stone Sour, and you have the privilege of listening to Mistress Carrie.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Mistress Carrie, reporting for duty from MCHQ for episode 291 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. My guest this week is bassist Tye Trujillo, the founding member of the band OTTO. He's also the bassist in Suicidal Tendancies, a job once held by his father, Robert Trujillo, from Metallica. OTTO just released their new EP, Sweaty Pool. The EP features a collaboration with Nick Oliveri from Caius and Queens of the Stone Age. I talked to Tye about the holidays and traveling, the writing sessions for Sweaty Pool, what it was like growing up in a musical family, and honoring that family history, plus touring and so much more. You can check out OTTO's music on the corresponding playlist for this week's episode. You'll find the links in the show notes. So allow me to introduce you to Tye Trujillo from OTTO. Tye, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm looking out the skylights behind you and it looks sunny and warm.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing for somebody that grew up in New England, that right before Christmas, it's like nice and sunny and warm outside. That's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a West Coast thing. I definitely feel blessed to be in the sun right now, but I am a big fan of the East Coast too, so I know what is it like out over there right now?
Oh, it's crazy storms right now. So
yeah.
Par for the course.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I appreciate you making time. This is one of the only times where musicians actually get to be around their families, is like right around the holidays when all the bands come off tour. So I'm interrupting quality family time, so I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm actually glad to be here, so everything's cool.
The holidays when you grow up in the Northeast are so tied to the seasons and the flavors. So for somebody that grew up outside of Boston, I have a hard time imagining California Christmas because it's warm. So tell me what the Christmas tradition is for you in Southern California. Like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? What do you guys do? Because it's not anything like what we do.
Right. So what we usually do is it's kind of like I do actually, it's funny, like a New Year's surf with one of my close friends. We usually do that like the day after or a couple days after New Year's Eve. Sometimes it's foggy out, sometimes, it's sunny out, but yeah, and it's just a lot of time like just hanging out with everybody and having dinner, going out, eating dinner with everyone, and yeah, it's cool. So, and I've been hanging out a lot with my friends lately for these holidays and stuff, so it's been a lot of fun.
I grew up in a big Italian family, so Christmas is the only time of year that I make lasagna. So I know when I'm eating lasagna, it's Christmas. What does Christmas taste like for you? What's the traditional thing you eat on Christmas?
Ooh, so a lot of dessert, I would say. There's a lot of dessert. I have a French family because my mom's from Paris, so there's a lot of cheeses being served.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Yeah, so a lot of that, delicious. French food is like my favorite. So
it's also some of the hardest stuff to cook.
Oh yeah.
Has that rubbed off on you, or are you a chef yourself?
I want to get better. The only thing I know how to cook right now is steak pretty well.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah, I could get by. I could prepare my own steak. But I want to get better at some other worlds as well.
Cooking is something when, at least for me, when you grow up in an Italian family, it's what you do when you're happy, but it's what you do when you're sad. It's what you do when you're mad. It's like nobody can gauge your mood because you're just always in the kitchen. So when it comes to the holidays, it's like all I want to do is hear about what everybody's eating.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. It's like you could do it at any mood. That's what I love about it is you could just, it's something that you can do all the time, even when you don't know what to do, or like with your, like in a moment when you're kind of bored, I'm going to cook.
You've spent a lot of your life on the road. Rock musicians are some of the most well-traveled people on the planet. Where have you gone that you've had fantastic food besides home, obviously?
Yeah. I think, I think France, Italy, and then Australia.
Australia, really?
Yeah, yeah. I think so. Like in Australia, there's a big population of like Japanese, so they have really good like sushi and stuff like that, which is I'm a big fan of.
It's on my bucket list to go there, but everybody that I know that's been there says basically everything there is trying to kill you.
Yeah, a lot of the animals there and stuff like that, they're pretty deadly, but then it's funny, I'll ask them and they'll be like, "You guys have bears and all that stuff." And like, yeah.
I joke all the time because, between fires and mudslides and earthquakes and tornadoes and all of that, I'm like, I'll take the snow. I'll just take the snow.
Right.
For the snow to try to kill you, it's really bad. Otherwise, you just sit in front of a wood stove and just curl up with the dogs and just wait for spring. But at least it's not trying to kill you.
Right, right. Yeah. At least it's not, like one of the most venomous animals on the world.
Even the koalas have chlamydia. Like everything in Australia is dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things are dangerous, but a very beautiful country, very beautiful water, just ocean, just sun, kind of like, it's a lot like California, I think, but as a country.
We're getting to the end of the year, obviously. And so looking at 2025, a lot of amazing music has come out. And we can add your new EP as well, because the vinyl came out for Record Store Day, but now the digital EP is available everywhere.
Yep, the digital EP is available everywhere. Super happy to have it released. Sweaty Pool. Yeah, and it's a great, inspiring, I think, piece of work that I just love. I love to listen to it sometimes too, myself, like, and reflect on it.
There's always a conversation with musicians in this time of technology of releasing standalone singles, EPs, and full-length albums because everybody kind of has a different take on it. So why did you guys decide an EP and not a full-length record?
I think the EP was the most feasible at the moment because we just wanted to kind of get stuff moving really quickly. So we were wanted to put something out pretty quick. Yeah, but then we want to put out a record pretty soon as well. Just when it'll take a little more time, so we want to make sure we get everything dialed in.
It's your first time on the show, so I want to ask you the questions about the formation of the band because power trios, there's no place to hide. That's how it's been described to me, that when there's, two guitar players or 5 or 6 people in the band, if one person kind of drops the ball, the other people can kind of pick it up and hide. But in a trio, if one person drops the ball, especially live, it's like being naked up there.
Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, it's a trio, like everybody has to hold down their fort to the max, 110%. Like in terms of playing, in terms of the tone, in terms of just paying attention to the song. Especially as a bass player, I feel that like I have to really lay it down with the rhythm section.
Geddy Lee had a famous quote about bass players where he said, no one starts out trying to be a bass player. You start out as a guitarist and you join a band, and then somebody needs to be the bassist, and you kind of get chosen or picked or assigned being a bassist. Knowing your obvious family history, did you start off as a bassist because it was around, or do you follow Geddy Lee's, I started as a guitar player and then I got voted in?
I think so I actually started, I think I started playing guitar, but I didn't start in like a band or exactly playing guitar, but I started playing guitar and then I switched to bass a bit. But so I kind of chose the bass before I played in the band, but I think that's like the Geddy Lee quote is a common thing that is used for a lot of people who start playing bass. I could see that like a lot.
Yeah, that you pick up the guitar first, play Smoke on the Water, get in a band, and then all of a sudden they're like, we need a bass player. Who's gonna do it?
Right. Who's gonna do it? And somebody volunteers.
I always ask musicians about how they come into their musical identity. That I have a theory about music that there's the first phase of your musical identity, which is the soundtrack to your childhood, right? The music that you just get exposed to without even trying, from your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, your cool uncle, your parents, obviously. But then you hear something that you decide you like, and then from then on, everything is different. So for you, obviously, the exposure to music has been a little bit more in-depth than, say, me growing up. So what did it sound like at home growing up? And then what did you decide was the first thing that you liked for yourself?
I would say, I mean, I was getting played like Alice in Chains a lot and stuff like that, and Tool and stuff. But I think Alice in Chains and Tool were like two of the first bands that I kind of like liked for myself. But my parents played it for me, but I liked it for myself, more so than some of the other like bands that were getting played. It just stuck with me, and then that kind of influenced me to get on my like musical journey, I guess.
And there are two bands that are bass heavy bands where the bassist is very involved in the overall sound of the band.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think like the bass tones for both bands are like the most influential bass tones in like rock music.
You might be one of the youngest musicians I've had on the show. There are very few things when I was like 12 or 13, decisions that I made that I don't look back on and go, what the hell was I thinking? You're playing on stage in front of thousands of people at 12 years old, which to me, I'm trying to imagine doing something like that, and I just can't. But for you, that's normal.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how it became that. And you really, what I was thinking on stage when I was 12, you know, like I was just thinking, you know what, I'm playing music. I'm celebrating music right now. I'm in front of all these people, wonderful people that are here to celebrate it too. So might as well just really enjoy the moment and just lay back and rip.
When I talked to Wolfgang Van Halen, and I think this goes for you as well, growing up in a musical family, Wolfgang called it a music positive family, which I thought was kind of hilarious. But I attribute it to like being born into like a royal family. Not that the musicians are royalty, but that from birth, you got born into a family with, say, a famous dad, just like Wolfgang did. That's like being born into the royal family and you're a prince from birth, whether you wanted to be or not.
Yeah.
So making the decision to become a musician yourself, I guess the only way to rebel when your dad's a rock star is like to become an accountant.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's really the only way. It's like I think, yeah, he was really right. Like a music positive family, and like kind of that world where it's everybody's so encouraging and supportive. My sister's a drummer. Like we were at her concert last night, and we are just there like supporting her and seeing her rock out. So everybody's like a musician, which is pretty cool.
I started in the marching band in high school and it just did not stick. I do not have the ability, but I'm so glad that doing what I do, I get to talk to people that do have it. And I asked Wolfgang this as well. Is musical ability, in your opinion, learned or genetic, or do you think it's a little bit of both? Because if it's genetic, I got zero of those genes and I want to know why.
I mean, I think in a way I think it's who you grow up around, like who you grow up around, and like how, yeah. I think it's the dedication and the practice, but also like I think it's observing like your I guess the atmosphere you grow up around. Like I just grew up seeing music all around the house all the time, seeing live shows. So picking that up really inspired me to be dedicated and practice all the time. So
So you're a subscriber of the 10,000 hour rule, obviously, that like just trying to get good at anything, even if you have the genes, it's the practice and the dedication to it that you don't just automatically get to be good.
yeah, it's definitely the practice and like yeah, practice and dedication to it, and the act of loving it, just living it and breathing it.
You've brought up bass tone, and I talk a lot about tone, which is something for a non musician. It's kind of this thing that needs explaining, but for an artist, your tone is like your identity. Slash told me that musicians are constantly in search of the perfect tone. So, where do you think tone comes from?
I think tone comes from the your personality, like your instrument that you play, that you choose to, that you gravitate towards, and your upbringing as a musical you know person, and someone who takes in uh your surroundings and what you listen to, and how you apply it to your own playing.
I have been told that when it comes to actual instruments, which has got to have a little bit to do with tone as well, because everybody I know that plays an instrument has more than one. That once you write a song on an instrument, it's really hard to part with that instrument. So
Yeah.
you become kind of a collector and, dare I say, hoarder when it comes to instruments, because they all represent a different song or a different memory. Have you become a collector as well?
Yeah, I think I have a lot like different bases that represent yeah, like different songs, different records. Like I think on this EP specifically, I played a different bass than on my first record, auto record I released. So it's like all different tones, and you'll hear the bass on Life is a Game, and it sounds completely different than the bass on Sweaty Pool. Because it's different basses, different sounds, different tones, and I think it'll continue that way with the more music I release.
Talk to me about working with Nick Oliveri, because, you know, everybody that hears the Auto song obviously knows Nick from Caius and Queens of the Stone Age. So talk to me about what it's like to bring in an outside person to collaborate with the band.
I think it's super legendary. I mean, I grew up listening to his music, so it really meant a lot when he hopped on the track and came into the studio and just kind of ripped it. He really just spontaneously came in there and wrote lyrics to the song and melodies, and then he just killed it in like a few takes, and boom, and then that was it. And we just hung out and we talked, and we did like a whole video together, and just kind of had a whole day together. He's a great guy, great dude, and one of my favorite bass players.
We're living in a time now where everything is so digital that the music industry has championed Record Store Day to be able to support independent, locally owned record stores. And vinyl is having this unbelievable resurgence where for older people that grew up buying vinyl originally, it's a throwback thing. But you've grown up with digital music being available your whole life. So I'm really curious to hear what vinyl means to you, because it doesn't have the sentimental attachment of that's how you were first introduced to music the way that it did for me growing up. So what is it about vinyl that makes you so attracted to it?
Well, I wish, I really wish I was brought up I think it would have been really cool to be brought up in an upbringing where vinyl was more common. But I think, vinyl is something that I think, like I have a little setup, but I think I have friends that are really more into vinyl, so they really like it, and I appreciate it. I haven't like done a deep dive into vinyl yet, to be fully honest, but I think it's cool that we're releasing some exclusive vinyl stuff for the EP, and so I'm open all ears to getting into vinyl. I just need to find that kind of that gap to get in there.
Do you think that the music sounds different versus releasing it on like streaming platforms and stuff? Because there are audiophiles, people that are so passionate about vinyl that are just like, it sounds warmer. There are artists that will mix their music separately for vinyl and for digital stuff.
Yeah, I think it's different sound, different tone in a speaker. I think it probably sounds more raw and pure. And just a whole kind of tone. I really want to listen to I haven't actually done a huge vinyl listening experience yet, and I want to do that. One of my good friends has a system, and I need to just go over there and just listen to some vinyl.
The great thing about vinyl too, because you guys are releasing it and so many newer bands are releasing it as well, is that it's not just the audio experience, but you get to appreciate the artwork, which so many bands put so much work into. But if you only listen to your music on streaming services, it ends up being this little thumbnail picture. Whereas with vinyl, the artwork, the liner notes, it's this tactile experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think the artwork is really cool in these vinyls. Like even looking through some of these records I have bought vinyl records before, and I just looked through the experience of turning over different pages of it, and and the lyrics. It's something you won't see digitally ever.
When you're writing songs, is it lyric first? Is it melody first? Is it riff first? How does the idea start for you?
Usually riff first and then arrangement. Then after lyrics get written after, when the instrumental is close to finished.
Everybody kind of has their own style of keeping track of ideas. Like Zakk Wylde told me that when he gets a riff idea, he has to mine that idea until the song is done. But Jerry Cantrell told me that he takes his phone and sings the riff ideas into his phone and kind of squirrels those ideas away until it's time to start working on stuff. How does it work for you?
For me, I have this little recorder. It's super small, but I use it I just record on there, and then I just re-listen to it later, and I record it into my computer. And then I'll present it to the guys, and then or one of the guys will bring an idea to the table, and then we'll just jam it out, and then just kind of spontaneously come up with stuff on the spot. So it's really different approaches.
There's a difference between having your own band where you're writing all the songs and you're in control of the project, and then say taking over as the bassist of Suicidal Tendancies that has its own history, lineage, songs that were there before you were there. And obviously, the correlation that your dad played in the band before you. Talk to me about trying to kind of navigate that history and lineage, but also making sure that people know that as an individual yourself, that this is you and not just like playing for your dad's legacy.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's important to establish, your own identity, and I do my best to do that, to kind of establish myself, where I came from versus, while honoring the history. I want to honor the history, and so while like honoring the history as well, and so it's all balance really, I think. And yeah, and then I just with Otto and just my projects and stuff, I just go with the attitude of just not caring, and just kind of just, yeah, be yourself, who cares? Like, go up on stage, dress the way you want to dress, go up on stage, play the way you want to play, and just do your thing, man. Yeah.
I look at songwriting as such a craft, something that I wish I had the ability to do, but obviously the genes faulty when it comes to musical ability, as we discussed. But I'm always curious what a songwriter thinks is an example of good songwriting elsewhere. So from a craft perspective, can you give me an example of a song that you think is perfectly written, that you wish you wrote because you're like, man, I love that song. I wish I had written that song.
Yeah. So I think first of all, in a song, I really think like a good songwriting, and the song is something that's original that I've never heard before, something that's completely out of the ordinary, and has ear candy, which is like something that's like, I don't know, it just doesn't sound perfect, but it's just like thrown in the song where it just sounds good and keeps me interested and intrigued. There's this song. There's a song on here on the Queens of the Stone Age on the Era Vulgaris record, but it's called the Fun Machine That Took a Shit and Died. And yeah, but the song's so trippy. Like, it has Spanish guitar, like in the chorus part, and I was just like, wow, you never hear that on really any really basic rock song. You don't really hear like this trippy elements, and it just goes in a bunch of different sections, section after section. It takes you really on a journey. And I just listen to that. I'm like, that's a killer song.
You bring up the word imperfection, which comes up over and over again on the show, because technology has made it so that music can be perfect if you want to be. And rock and roll and the musicians I talk to always bring up the importance of the imperfections and how they make rock music and metal music special, in that there are those little imperfections.
Yeah.
And that rock music shouldn't be perfect. Do you have a favorite mistake that you hear in somebody else's music, or even in your own, and you're like, oh, I'm so glad that got left in there?
Well, let's see. Good question. I have definitely like some things that I've done. I would say on recordings, I've done it more in the moment where it was something I wanted to experiment and try, and it kind of just was, I didn't expect it. Like, there is on the Otto song Delivery, there's feedback in the beginning there. And I didn't really mean to do that feedback. It just kind of happened. So it could have been sort of like a mistake, but it really became one of the main parts of the song, of the intro, before all the instruments come in. So I would say that. But I think, yeah, definitely imperfections is one of the things that make like rock important. I think too many people are perfect these days in the rock world, with just posting videos of themselves shredding on Instagram and like in the best form of quality and the best quality. And I just think I'm not really interested in that, and it doesn't really intrigue me. And I know a lot of people like it a lot, but to me, it's too perfect.
There's this automatic observation as a musician that when you go out on stage, you're not just looking at the people, you're looking at their phones, knowing that whatever mistake you make, whatever you do, is going to be up on YouTube in like 30 seconds. So do you think about that before you go on stage, or do you kind of have the same outlook with the live performance as you do in the studio, and you kind of welcome the blemishes?
Yeah, I think I welcome the blemishes because it's really, in the reality, you can't hold on to the mistake you make. Like, it already happened in the past, and I've gotten used to, like, I used to, when I would play, I would be like, oh shit, like I messed up here, like I played this part wrong or whatever. But then now I'm like, you can't like hold on to it too much. You just kind of have to let it go anyways. So might as well enjoy it, and just, I mean, I'll do my best, to make the best performance and make it the best experience for everybody.
Speaking of live performances, I went on your website before I started talking to you today and did not see updated tour dates. So what's the plan for 2026, which already looks like it's going to be a crazy year, just in rock and metal as it is, with tours and new releases. So what's your plan for next year?
I think a lot of writing for OTTO, and then we're going to slowly work in some shows after we do some more new material. And then I think there's a lot of suicidal shows happening, which is good. We're doing Coachella, which is incredible. A lot of cool artists I want to see there. And yeah, we have more dates as well. So yeah, just kind of balancing out the schedules with that and just staying busy as I can.
You talk about wanting to see other artists at a big festival like Coachella. For a long time, the U.S. did not have the festival culture that we have now. That, growing up a rock and metal fan, you heard about those European festivals, Donington and all of that. The U.S. has a lot of great festivals now where not only do you get to play, but like you're talking about, that you get to actually go and see other bands.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a festival experience you've had because you got to be there as a spectator. Like, who did you get to see that you were so happy that you got to see, or maybe a band you never would have gone to see, but they were at the festival and they turned you into a fan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who did I get to see? Like, well, oh yeah, well, this band's from New England, actually. I was in Furnace Fest, and I've already been a fan of this band for a while and seen them play, but this underground, like, rad hardcore band called On Broken Wings. I saw them play there, and man, that set was so like energizing. Like, I almost wanted to get in the mosh pit. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I was, just taking in every moment of it, but they were incredible.
The Northeast has an amazing kind of hardcore and metal scene. I don't know if it's because it gets so damn cold in the wintertime that everybody's just so pissed off.
Right.
But this region of the country is kind of known for that kind of musical aesthetic. Like, the first time I went to California, especially Southern California, and like drove a convertible and drove along the beach and listened to like SoCal bands, the music made so much more sense to me. Like, if you go to Seattle and listen to Alice in Chains, the music makes so much more sense listening to it in the environment where it was inspired and created.
Yeah, definitely. You could really see in the environment, like for example, the band Molchadoma, the band from Belarus, like, their music is like super kind of like cool, dark, atmospheric, and you could, like, I really see, and they have the brutalist architecture with their image, like how their music became that way. And it's really cool to see that, because whenever I travel, it just reminds me of different bands and music and artists, and it's part of the inspiration, part of the identity.
Well, if you're going to spend a lot of time in 2026 writing music for OTTO, how does the environment affect that? Do you write in the same place? Do you try to go somewhere else to have the environment affect the songs?
Lately I've been writing in the same place, but I want to, like, I've always had this idea of where I've wanted to travel more and like write, like, I wanted to travel and like write music in different locations and see what I come up with there.
Well, being a kid that surfs on New Year's, like we discussed already, if you want to write really pissed off hard music, I invite you to come to Boston in January or February, and you can freeze your ass off and your music will be very angry.
Yeah, I think so. Cause I'm actually, I'm a fan of the East Coast. Like, I've had a good time out in Boston area and like New York City. Like, I just, go around, take the metro and hang out. And I'm starting to like it a lot more. Like, I am like kind of like a city guy as well. So I do like want to get out there just for fun at some point this year.
Having the privilege of being able to talk to musicians every day like I do, I talk to a lot of older established musicians that have found success and maybe the band broke up for a while and then they kind of realized, all the mistakes they made and they get back together and the regrets and the decisions that they made. And sometimes they're like, well, I wish we had done things differently, but then we wouldn't be where we're at. And when I talk to newer artists, I talk to them about advice they've been given by maybe the older bands that they've toured with. So not only are you surrounded by, say, the Suicidal guys, who obviously have a long lineage, but you also have an in-house expert in the family as well. So talk to me about some advice that people have given you as a newer artist that you've really taken to heart moving forward with OTTO.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest piece of advice I think I hear is just don't be afraid. Just be yourself on stage. Be yourself. Carry that with you, and just kind of just put it all into. Give it all the effort you have in you. Give it 110%, and just be yourself. Yeah.
If you could go back in time, like in the DeLorean, Back to the Future, whatever, and see any band, alive or dead, who would you want to see? A band that you wish you could have seen live, but you never did?
Yeah. Wow. There's so many bands. I mean, I'm probably going to say the immediate option right now is probably like Alice in Chains, like back in the 90s with Lane Staley. I'd have been just incredible to see.
Yeah, his voice is literally a once in a lifetime. When you talk about a recognizable guitar tone, that guy's voice, from one note, you know exactly who it is.
Yeah, right. He's just one of the most recognizable singers ever. So, yeah, it's just magical.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm so excited for what you've got coming up. For anybody that hasn't heard OTTO yet, they can find your music everywhere. The new EP came out December 5th on streaming platforms and is available as part of a Record Store Day vinyl collectible that people can track down as well. So 2026 sounds like it's going to be busy for you.
Yeah, it's going to be busy and fun, and I'm looking forward to the new year.
I'll be thinking about you on New Year's when you're surfing and I'm freezing my ass off. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Likewise. I'll be praying for you out there, but I'm sure it'll be cool with the snow and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where regionally there's sight smells. Like I talked to Des Rocks, who's, a city kid that grew up in New York. And he was like, yeah, around Christmas time, you start smelling the wood stoves of the people that are lucky enough in New York City to have a fireplace.
Yeah.
And you can kind of smell their fireplaces in the streets around New York. He goes, that smell you start to smell around Christmas. So a fireplace smells like Christmas to me. So for like the Northeast, snow has a smell, and like apple cider and like all of those kinds of things. And, you know, in Southern California, obviously,
Yeah.
everything kind of has its own smell and
Yeah.
holiday traditions.
Right. It's really cool. Like I've always wanted to celebrate more of like kind of like a East Coast style Christmas, or like a European kind of style where there's like snow everywhere, and like, you know, they have all the ornaments everywhere. It's just super, super cool. I don't get that too often out here because it's usually, I mean, it's nice though. I mean, I like the sun a lot, of course, but it would be cool to switch it up a little bit.
Well, look, if Otto's on tour this time next year, you're more than welcome at my place, man. I got a big Christmas tree and a wood stove. Come on over. I'll make lasagna.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that up on you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you. I really appreciate the time around the holidays, and I look forward to the new music and seeing you not only out on the road with Otto, but obviously with Suicidal Tendencies as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2026.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you then.
There he is, Tye Trujillo from OTTO and Suicidal Tendencies. The new OTTO EP Sweaty Pool is available everywhere, and you'll find the music as part of the custom playlist for this week's episode. I make a playlist for every full-length episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast that features all of my guest music and all the artists and songs we referenced in the interview. You'll also find Tye's links in the show notes, the links to find OTTO online, and of course, all the Mistress Carrie links. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast. New episodes come out every Wednesday, plus every weekday you get the sit rep. The Situation Report gives you all your rock news, music headlines, and entertainment updates in about 5 minutes. And you never know when we're going to release a bonus episode. Join me live every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern for my weekly live streaming video show, Cocktails in the War Room. And you can always find me on the radio. Get the details on all of that and more at mistresscarrie.com. The Mistress Carrie Podcast, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.